Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie, and I'm actually just about to watch a match analysis video that Renneson sent me. I recently learned that Third Shot Sports offers a service on their website where you can send them a match of you playing pickleball, and then they'll take a look at it, they'll review it, and then they'll break it down frame by frame to let you know things you did right, things you did wrong, and suggestions on what you can improve on. And anybody that's been following my personal pickleball journey, you know that I've been playing a lot of singles pickleball lately, and also that I am not very good at it. I need to improve a lot, so I figured it's time to get some professional help. So I utilized the service on the Third Shot Sports website, and Mark sent me back a couple videos. So right now we're gonna watch the first of two different match videos that they sent me from a recent singles pickleball tournament that I did. So let's check it out.
All right, Webby, a lot of interesting things in this singles match. Let's take a look at it here. And you start off with a really great third shot drop. This is something that can be used in singles, like can be used in doubles. You do a great job here forcing the other guy to hit up on the ball. There's not much he can do with it. That's an excellent drop. I like the way that you went cross court with it. Here's where things kind of broke down though, right? Giving the ball back to him in the middle of the court too many times. You've got to get that ball to the sideline. You worked so hard to get yourself in position. You got to get that ball to the side of the court. Easier said than done, I know. All right, let's look at the next point here. Here you hit a great return of serve. And in this case, you hit it deep, yes, but you made him move. Look how he's in the side of the court. That opens up a lot of space here. But then, your ball goes right to the middle. And then you pay the price for it. You've got to get that ball. You did a good job with that first return of serve, moving him off the court. You got to get that ball to the open court. Speaking of your return of serve, your backhand, to put it bluntly, is kind of weak. And one of the reasons it's weak is the way that you prepare for it. Look how far forward the paddle is. And if the paddle's far forward like that, it doesn't have very much distance to move before it strikes the ball, so it's hard for you to get much power on it. You look at the examples from those other pros, you can see how they prepare their backhand to get more power. Great serve depth here. Why is that important? Well, it's going to make it harder for your opponent to get to the line by the time you hit your third shot. Oh, and wouldn't it be great if you could just rip that backhand to the open court instead of just kind of bumping it over the net? Again, a really strong backhand drive would really pay dividends, I think. All right, let's take a look here. I think we're going to see the backhand one more time. Yeah, there it is. So again, it's just sort of a bumping sensation instead of a real hitting sensation. Here you actually have an opportunity to find the open court with like a little drop volley, but it goes down the middle, and you got lucky there. You did win the point. I think in most cases you'd lose that point because he's got an easy ball in his forehand. Good serve depth again, forcing him a long way to go. He's going to feel that pressure, and look at that, you got a freebie. So having a deep serve is really useful in singles because they know that they're going to face more pressure getting to the line and covering the whole court. All right, so here you play your third shot, and this is, again, you're not in a position to really attack, right? We've already talked about your backhand not being a really powerful shot, and I think you do a good job here of at least staying out of trouble with that third shot drop. Point doesn't go the way you want, but that third shot drop, for all intents and purposes, were pretty good. Speaking of pretty good, this is exactly the right idea. I love seeing you do this, trying to get that angle to the open court, even though you missed it. I'd call that a good mistake. You're doing the right kind of thing, you just did it a bit too much. All right, this is a mental mistake here. There's no pressure on you. The guys stayed back off your deep serve. You have to have a plan, and sometimes we make that mistake when we don't know exactly what we're gonna do. All right, this is my favorite sequence of this whole match. This is a great return of serve. Notice it's not that deep, but it does make your opponent move, and that is so critical in singles because even if he gets there now, you got an open court, you got a high volley, and look at that. This is money right here. If you can put together this kind of a pattern regularly, you will make a huge improvement in your singles game. Okay, this is the opposite. So even though the return is deep, look how it's right in the center of the court, and then he's got all day to sort of set up and use his forehand to make you stretch. So two really sort of nicely contrasting points back to back. In doubles, the return depth really matters. In singles, it's largely about moving your opponent so they can't set up the way they want and then hit a good third shot pass against you. All right, here's a good shot that you hit here. It's sort of like an in-between drop and drive, more of a drive, I'd say, than a drop. It'd be nice if you get a little more speed here, but this is the right idea. Again, making your opponent stretch. It's a low ball, it's got a little bit of speed to it. That's excellent. Imagine if you could just amp that up another 10 or 15 miles an hour. I think that'd be really great. All right, and so again, we see when your opponent comes to the net, he puts pressure on you. You've got to find a way to get those balls a little bit harder, a little bit lower, so that he's not able to hit to the open court like this. So again, real sort of recurring theme here in this example is needing to develop a little bit more of an effective drive to really make your opponents worried about you when hitting that third shot. Oh, hey, Webby. All right, here's another example where you do the right thing. This is the right idea. I love it. Looking to use the angle, looking to move the opponent off the court, just overcook that turkey a little bit, ball goes wide, but that is the right idea. I really like what you did here. It seems simple, but I promise you can get so many free points at this level if you can just get that return of serve to your opponent's backhand. Most players won't have great backhands at this level. If you can make them play more of those backhands, you are going to be in good shape. All right, now we're getting toward the end of the match here. A lot of this point it sort of breaks down a little bit. I really appreciate the way that you scrambled for it. That was really good effort. Now let's watch right here. Again, we're going to see this backhand that really just has to be a kind of defensive shot. You played it reasonably well, and here's a critical moment where the result could have been different. After you play that nice drop, that ball sits up. This is a chance to pounce on that ball, and it looked like for a second you thought you were going to. Watch how your direction changes. You're going forward, then you back up. Too bad, it ends up putting you in more of a defensive position. Had you really committed to going forward, could have got that ball out of the air, put it away for a volley winner. Anyway, in the end, the point kind of breaks down, and I think this next one is maybe how it ends here. Again, a little bit of indecisiveness, going forward, then backing up. Not much you can do once you're in that tough position. Anyway, so I think as you establish a few more common patterns of play, you're going to make those decisions a little more correctly, a little more quickly. All right, so let's do a little summary here. You consistently hit with really good depth on your serve. That made it tougher for your opponent to get comfortably to the non-volley line before you were hitting your third shot, so keep that up. Your backhand needs some work. You played drops really well, but the backhand drive was virtually non-existent. And if you can improve your backhand drive, I think there's a lot of free points for you to be had when you're serving. Your directional control wasn't always great. There were a few times that you set up the point really well. You had your opponent out of position. You had a chance to win and just hit the ball to the middle of the court instead of to one sideline or another. There were a few moments of brilliance. There were some times that you played a really fantastic drop. There were times that you got the ball back in play that were going to be really tough to get back in the court. There were some times that you did things really well, and I think that you should take that as a positive. And finally, your drops were really solid. In situations where you weren't able to hit an offensive third shot, you used drops pretty well. It actually gave you a chance to not only neutralize your opponent, but sometimes even turn the tables a bit and have a chance to win the point. So, good job.
Nice. Man, that was some great information that he covered in that video, and a lot to think about. A lot of things that I need to improve on, a lot of things I need to consider. But I think that's an awesome service that they're offering on the Third Shot Sports website. And like I said, that was the first of 2 different match videos that I submitted, so stay tuned because in the very near future, I will post the second match analysis video that they sent me. But that's going to do it for us here today. And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
Pickleball addicting and fun, that's no joke. Pickleballing, it's not just for old folks. Pickleball.